Hey everybody, my name is John from Community Life Church, and this is Meals Ready to Eat from the Bible. We would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Today's episode is Jesus overcomes the corruption of his day and our day too. So the sinfulness and the corruption of the religious, social, and political leaders of his day did not deter Jesus, did not stop his plan, did not stop him doing what he wanted to do. So let's just set the stage. We're going to look at Mark chapter 10, verses 32 through 34. But before you read that, just to let you know that Jesus was walking to Jerusalem. He was on his way to Jerusalem. But he wasn't just going for a walk. It's not just a nice day for a walk. Wasn't getting his steps in. He was going there for a reason. So what's going to happen? Why did he do this? What's his plan? How is he going to go about, doing what he wants to do when he gets there? Let's go take a look at the scripture and see, and then learn and see what God reveals to us today in this passage. Pop that up on the screen. We'll take a look at it. Let's just read through it. And they were on the road going to Jerusalem, and Jesus was walking on ahead of them, and they were amazed, and those who followed him were fearful. It was a very amazing thing he was saying, but they were kind of afraid at the things he said because they'd never heard anything like this before. And again, he took the 12 aside and began to tell them what was going to happen to him. Now, as this is just this information that we're getting here, this revelation, this passage is not just addressed to the 12, not just to the elite. It's addressed to all of us, as evidenced by the fact that we have it in the Bible and we can all read it. Picking up from verse 33, this is Jesus saying, "Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death, and will hand him over to the Gentiles." It's not just the Jews here, it's the Jews and the Gentiles, meaning that's everybody was involved in this conspiracy against Jesus. So there's no guilty people, if you will, which has been taught in the past. They will mock him and spit on him and scourge him and kill him, and 3 days later he will rise again. That's Mark 10:32 through 34. So what's going on here? What's Jesus trying to tell us? What's he saying to us? What can we learn from this? Well, to begin with, again, Jesus was walking to Jerusalem with his disciples following him, and they were afraid and in awe of him because of what he was saying and what they were seeing was going to happen. This was unusual. It was a revelation. They hadn't seen anything like this before or heard anything like this before. So he's going to the center of social and religious life of his day. Jerusalem was an important city. It was a wealthy city. It's where everything that happened, that was important, happened for the people of that day. So he's going to the center of the day's culture. This is the cultural capital as well. He's going to the center of political power. This was the political capital of the people as well. Excuse me. So all this stuff was in Jerusalem, along with the leaders of the people. They were in Jerusalem. You wanted to exercise power. You wanted to be important. You wanted to influence. You didn't go on YouTube. You didn't go on Instagram. You went to Jerusalem, and that's what Jesus did. So the highest authorities of the nation were there, and many of them, not all of them, very important to note, but the system, in effect, was corrupt because a lot of the top leaders were corrupt. For example, there were 2 high priests, only supposed to be 1. You can read about that in Luke chapter 3, verse 2. So there's only supposed to be 1 high priest. And amidst all this, Jesus went anyway. And the culmination of his ministry happened in Jerusalem at a time and in a place of immense corruption. It didn't frighten Jesus, didn't scare Jesus, didn't keep him away. So we can't be afraid of the turmoil and the corruption and the sinfulness we see happening all around us. If you turn on the news, whatever outlet you use, the television, the newspaper, something on the internet, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, it's always upsetting. It's always turmoil. It's always, this is bad, that's bad, these people are bad. We can't be afraid of that because Jesus wasn't afraid of that. Now, when we see all this criminal and sinful behavior, didn't stop Jesus from going to the people, from going to the place that his Father was sending him. So Jesus went into the middle of the worst, and he won. He was crucified, he was put in the grave, and he did rise again. And because he rose again, we can overcome our own sinfulness and the sinfulness of our culture. And that is good news. So remember that, and God bless you today. Thanks for watching. You can join us Sunday morning, 10:30 at 20 West Main Street, Catskill, New York. Can't make it? You can stream our services live on YouTube or Facebook, which you can find on our web at clchurch.cc. That's clchurch.cc. Don't forget to follow us throughout the week for devotions and times of sharing from leaders and staff. Leave a comment, leave a like, whatever you want. And thanks once again.